I'm Nick, indie fantasy author and author of Fate's Conscripts, which you can get on Amazon. Today I'm answering the question, how do you get better at dialogue? And there are two elements to this. The first is listening to real people talking, which does involve leaving your house. You can, of course, find people online and listen to the way they talk on YouTube and in podcasts and stuff. But I find that that's not as helpful as, being in a crowded public place and, listening to what people say and eavesdropping a little bit, writing interesting things that people say in a notebook or something to look at later. I find that, that approach puts a little chaos into it where you never really know what you're going to hear, instead of when you go on YouTube and you're looking for something specific and you'll hear all sorts of dialects and you'll find out, people's fears and what they care about and how they express those things. And it'll give you just kind of a richer impression of what it means to communicate as a human being. When I first started writing, I was living in Montreal at the time, and I used public transportation a lot. Public transit's really good for that. People, will talk on their phones or talk to their friends and don't really know that people are listening. So you pick up some things. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is when you're reading something, watching something, whatever it might be, when you're consuming some kind of media, some kind of art, pay attention to the dialogue. Don't just read it, don't just listen to it, but think about the contrast between what a character is saying and what they mean, Newer writers have a tendency to kind of just state things in dialogue that match exactly what that character is thinking or what they want to get across, but it's not really how people talk, They'll do everything from, saying a half sentence when they should have used three, or speaking in euphemisms, using idioms, that kind of thing. So if you find that your dialogue, your prose is too literal, try listening more and reading more intentionally. And the two will inform each other, because dialogue is not exactly how people talk, and vice versa.